nobody is talking about what Claude just built, Claude's most underrated feature. Do you think Elon Musk tracks his own updates? Or Jeff Bezos types in what he closed today on a spreadsheet? Not at all. They have assistants to handle this. Every successful person you can name has someone filtering the noise in their lives. But not everyone can afford to hire someone for this. So we would usually do it ourselves. But last month, Claude quietly shipped a feature by which you can now build your own assistant to Claude now tracks every rupee I earn. It builds me dashboards, trackers, practically everything an assistant does. It also built me games and a lot of fun stuff. Most people, when I show them this, they go, "No way, you paid a developer, you are running some fancy software." But I built it in 20 minutes using plain English. This is just one of the 9 things I built. Built. One of them tracks my health. The second tracks the money. The third helps with entertainment. And the fourth helps me learn and study. In this video, I'm going to walk you through all these use cases. And by the end, you will be able to build them all for yourself. Let us get into it. Before we begin, I want to tell you that we learn about the latest tools around AI daily. And in order to share them with you guys, I created a free WhatsApp community called Staying Ahead. Most of the detailed videos end up on this channel only a week later. So if you want to stay updated with what most of YouTube hasn't heard of yet, link for the community is in the description. All right, let's get into the video. So here's the simplest way for you to think about artifacts. When you ask Claude to build something for you, whether it's a pirate game or an interactive quiz or a landing page, Claude opens up that panel on the right side of your screen and builds the whole thing for you in real time. That right there is called an artifact. It can refresh itself every single time you open it, and it pulls fresh data from whatever you have connected to it, whether that is Gmail, Slack, or Google Sheets. So if you make a revenue dashboard, it will go to your Google Sheets daily and update your numbers in real time instead of showing you yesterday's old data. Let's go ahead and build some of these together so you can actually understand how to use them. Now you can use this on the normal cloud website or on Cloud Cowork. You click Artifacts. In the sidebar, click on New Artifact and you will see all these options right in front of you. Apps and websites, documents, games, productivity tools, creative projects, quiz, and start from scratch. Let's go through each of these use cases one by one and see how to build them. Let's start with productivity tools. The first one is called the Goal and Habit Tracker, and it ends up being more like a personal operating system for your week. You tell Claude what you're looking for, which is a personal dashboard with 3 tabs in it. The first tab is daily reflection. The second tab is goal progress. And the third tab is pattern analysis. I also tell it to hook this up to my Google Calendar so it can see my meeting load, because my meeting load directly affects how much energy I have on any given day. Claude asks you a few questions back. How should reflection data be stored? What habits do you actually want to track? And you tap on all four: reading, working out, deep work blocks, and sleep. Then it asks you how goals should be structured and so on. And then it goes and builds the artifact for you. Once it is done, you get 3 tabs sitting in front of you. Tab 1 is the Today tab. There is a slider on it for energy level going from 1 to 10. There are mood icons that go from terrible all the way to great. There are check boxes for your habits. And there is a notes box where you can sit down and write a daily reflection. You go ahead and fill all of it in. Energy at 9, mood is good, reading is done, deep work is done. You got 8 hours of sleep last night. You hit save entry and a small streak counter shows up at the side. It says 1 day for now, but tomorrow it will say 2. Tab 2 is the goals tab. On this one, you can set a goal, give it a target value, track your progress on it, and set a deadline for yourself. Tab 3 is the pattern analysis tab. And this is the part that really got me when I first saw it. The second one we are going to build together is called the Founder's Dashboard. If you are running a company, or even just a team, your morning probably looks something like this. You wake up, you open Slack, you start scrolling through unread messages, then you jump over to email and start scrolling through a flooded inbox. Then you open calendar to see what is actually on your day. And by the time you have looked at all of these things, an entire hour has gone by, and you still have not actually done anything that matters. That right there is the problem you are dealing with. So let's ask Claude to fix it for you. You go ahead and type this exact prompt, build my personal assistant dashboard, and connect my Slack, Google Calendar, and Gmail to give me a summarized update of my work and commitments every morning. Claude goes ahead and builds the whole thing, pulling from every connector you have set up, laying it out clean exactly the way you asked for it. The dashboard pins itself to your sidebar, so you can open it again with just one click. And here's the magic moment. And this is the part most people miss. Every time you open it, there is a refresh button sitting in the top right corner. You click it once and it updates all your data for that day. So now you're looking at the current updates of your day, not yesterday's goal. The view at the top shows the dashboard name, the current time, and the date. The schedule pulls directly from your Google Calendar, which you can confirm by clicking over to Calendar and seeing the exact same meeting at the exact same time. The priority inbox shows you what actually needs a reply from you, not the entire inbox. And tomorrow's preview shows you what is coming up so you can prep for it tonight instead of being surprised in the morning. This one dashboard replaces about 6 different tabs you used to keep open all day long, and it becomes the first thing you look at every single morning. That right there is the founder version of this. The next one we are going to build is for your team. This one is called the Team Update Dashboard. The prompt for this one is actually pretty simple. You tell Claude to build you a live artifact that pulls from Slack and shows you what each team posted this week, broken down into categories, updates, blockers, shipped items, and questions for. Claude loads the Slack tools again, and then it does something kind of interesting that you need to watch for. It does not just dump every Slack message at you in one big mess. Instead, it actually asks you follow-up questions first. Which channels do you actually want to include in this? How do you want to group it by channel or by team? What time window are you looking at? Is it this week or is it the last week? And so on. You answer those questions, and then Claude goes off and actually reads through every single channel you selected, daily updates, weekly business review, the YT team check-in, all of them. It reads every single message inside the time window you gave it. And then here is where it actually gets interesting for you. It starts tagging each message individually. Is this one an update? Is this one shipped item? Is this one a blocker? Is this one a question? Or is this one just noise that does not really matter? Once that is done, it designs the layout, writes the HTML, and ships you the dashboard cutting dahlia. You click create. What you get back is a clean live artifact, 24 updates, 4 shipped items, 2 blockers, and 4 questions, all sorted individually. Each card on the dashboard is tagged with the channel it actually came from, whether it was daily updates, the weekly business review, or the YT team check-in. You can also click updates and see only updates. You can click blockers and see the things that are stuck. Now think about what this kills for a second. We used to spend almost 2 hours every single Monday morning where each team would post their written update in Slack, and then we would all read through every single one of them. Now you just open this dashboard once and you can see everything in one view. You see what is stuck, what got shipped, and you can act on all of it in about 5 minutes. D. Okay, so we have done 3 of these so far. The last one we are going to build is the one that actually tracks your money. And this is the most powerful version of the whole idea. This one is called the personal brand pipeline. If you are a creator, a founder, a consultant, a coach, basically anyone who gets paid because of who you are, you probably have a mess on your hands right now. Podcast invites, sitting in your email, speaking gigs, landing in your DMS, brand deal negotiations happening over WhatsApp, core sale conversation spread across three different places at the same time. Every single one of those is a real revenue opportunity for you. And most of them slip through the cracks because there is nowhere to actually organize them. This dashboard is what fixes that problem for you. You tell Claude that you want a personal brand pipeline that tracks the business outcomes of my personal brand, speaking gigs that confirmed, podcast appearances that are booked, brand deals, courses, and products. But before you run this, ask me for what characters does this needs. Claude takes a look at what you already have connected, which is Gmail, Calendar, Drive, and Slack, and then it tells you something actually useful that you need to listen to for a real pipeline tracker like this one. Those four tools are not really enough on their own. You need a backend, something where the actual data can live and persist over time. So Claude recommends you go and connect either Notion or Airtable. You go ahead and connect both of them. It is literally two clicks, and the whole flow takes a few seconds to finish. Once they are both connected, Claude goes ahead and builds an entire Airtable base on its own with all the right fields already set up for you: counterparty, type of deal, stage, value, date, source, owner, date of last contact, any notes, and even the email thread links. And then you ask it to build the live artifact. You click create. Here is what you see in front of you. Note that because our data here is sensitive, we have added demo data for this one so you can see exactly how it looks. At the very top of the dashboard, you can see an open pipeline sitting at 1 lakh 50,000 US dollars. Confirmed deals are at 62,000. Year to date paid is at 2 lakh 77,000. Below all of that, you have five columns laid out. Each column is one of the pipeline stages like inbound, qualifying, negotiating, confirmed, and delivered by. And each card inside that column is an actual deal-based end day. Above the columns, you have filter buttons like speaking, podcast, and brand deal. So you can click speaking and see only your speaking pipeline, or you can click podcast and see only the podcast invites coming in. You can filter by owner and see exactly what each person on your team is responsible for closing. And because this is a live artifact, every single time you open this dashboard, it would not show you old data. It goes back to Airtable, pulls the latest data, and shows you where things stand right now. Live bub. So, if your chief of staff added a new podcast invite while you were sleeping, it should be sitting right there in the dashboard the moment you open it the next morning. This next one that we are going to try is one of the creative projects. It is one of my favorite categories inside artifacts because it lets you build pieces of design that you can actually post on social media without opening Figma or Canva. Let's start from scratch. You just click on Creative Projects, and Claude asks you a few follow-up questions to understand what you are trying to build. The first question is, what kind of creative project you are thinking about? I chose interactive. Then it asked what the vibe or theme is. I chose dark editorial underground. The third question asked for the target audience, and I chose content and social media. Once you answer all of that, Claude takes a second to think, and then it lays out the entire creative blueprint for you on the screen. The concept idea is called Signal Voice, and below that, you can see the typography plan, the aesthetic, and the layout parameters all spelled out for you. It even mentions that the piece is being built for Instagram and Twitter, which is exactly what you told it earlier. Now you type "let's build the artifact" into the chat box and hit enter. And the moment you do that, Claude starts coding the entire thing on the right side of your screen. Once that is done, you get an interactive canvas in front of you. If you want to see it on full screen, hit publish at the top right, copy the link, paste it into a fresh browser tab. The words "stay hungry" start morphing and scaling and glitching across the screen in real time. But Here is the part that you need to pay attention to. At the bottom of the screen, you have actual controls. You can change the formatting between 1x1, 4x5, and 9x6, depending on whether you are posting to Instagram feed, Instagram stories, or a tweet. And you have preset code buttons sitting right there. So you can also change the typography and the lines themselves. And we didn't even give Claude a detailed prompt. It generated all this by itself. So imagine what you can do if you actually have a good design vision. So that is create projects in artifacts. It's an easy and effective social media design tool. This next one is called games. And yes, you can literally build playable games inside Claude Artifacts. You click on the games card from the artifact category grid, and Claude does what it usually does, which is ask you a couple of follow-up questions to understand what you actually want. It says there are tons of fun directions you could take this and ask what kind of game you have in mind, who it is for, and any theme or vibe or mechanic you are drawn to. So you type out exactly what you want into chat box. You say, I want to build a pirate game where I'm fighting with ships. The highest scorer wins. And the visual theme should be Lego style proc. You hit enter, and Claude comes back almost immediately with the plan. It names your game Pirate Plunder Ship Wars, and it lays out the entire design for you. The core gameplay, the visual style guidelines, the layout controls, and the scoring parameters are all there on the screen ready for you to review. You confirm by typing yes, it matches the version I am thinking of, and the moment you give it the green light, the artifact panel opens on the right side, and Claude starts coding the entire game from scratch. From the player controls to the enemy ship behavior, the physics engine, the scoring system, even the audio feedback when you fire a cannonball. Once that's done, you have a full game interface sitting there in front of you titled Pirate Plunder, Ship Wars. You hit publish at the top and paste the link in a new tab, and there you go. You are playing a real game. Click the big set sail button, and the ocean environment loads up. You have a blocky pirate ship that you control using your keyboard arrows. You move it left and right. You dodge the enemy ship's cannonballs coming at you, and you grab the golden treasure chests that float past you to bump up your score. If your ship gets hit a few times and you lose all three of your lives, a big red game over screen pops up showing your score and a high score banner. My score was 0, I guess. I just have to try again. So that is what a game inside Claude Artifacts looks like. The next use case is one called quiz or survey. And this is the one I would have killed to have when I was studying for exams. So you scroll down to the artifact section, you click new artifact at the top right, and the grid of categories opens up in front of you. You click on quiz or survey. Claude immediately asks you three quick questions on the chat panel. What is your quiz or survey idea? Who would love this quiz or survey? And any particular vibe or mood you are going for. Let's give it a 10th grade geography textbook chapter to make a quiz on. So once we upload the PDF into Claude, we give it the prompt. This is a 10th grade geography chapter. Make a quiz on this of at least 20 questions. I need to be thorough with this chapter by the end of this. Claude starts crafting the interactive quiz. The artifact panel opens on the right side of your screen, and Claude starts generating the question structures, the answer options, the index of the correct answer for each one, and even an explanation blocked high. Once it is done, you have a fully styled interactive multiple choice quiz sitting in front of you. You can see that it now says that there are 25 questions instead of the 20 we asked, for which is a nice over delivery. See, it's giving me nice MCQs that you can actually interact with. If you get a question wrong, it shows you the correct answer along with the explanation pulled straight from the textbook. So you actually learn from your mistake. Once you're done, you click publish at the top, you copy the link, and you can share this with your entire class or your study group in one click. So that is quiz or survey in artifacts. You just turned a static PDF into a fully interactive learning tool. This next one is called Apps and Websites. We just click on the title card, and as usual, Claude asks you what you want to build. Build. Let's say that you want to build a web app for personal use and you don't have a vibe in mind. So let's click on the option Surprise Me. It gives you options of what tools it can make. So let's go with the productivity or focus tool. Claude lays out the entire plan on the screen. It calls your tool Deep Focus Console, and it describes it as a single page focus tool built around how you actually work with context switching across different types of work, plus a session timer, a single task focus block, and a parking lot list block for stray ideas. It even adds a little tag saying, "This is not another generic Pomodoro timer," which I thought was a nice touch. You type build into the chat box and you hit enter. The artifact panel opens on the right side and Claude starts coding the entire app. Once the compilation finishes, you have a fully functional focus dashboard titled Deep Focus Console. The interface is clean and dark. At the top, you have category tabs, including scripts, proposals, community, personal brand, and deep work. In the middle, you have a large digital timer. And at the bottom, you have preset duration blocks. You can tap to change the timer length. Let's set the timer to 40 minutes. Then you hit the begin button and the clock starts counting down in real time. You can hit pause to stop it. Then you click over to proposals and the timer adjusts to 25 minutes. In deep work, it jumps up to 90 minutes. Every category has its own default duration because Claude understood that deep work needs longer blocks and quick tasks need shorter ones. Then you scroll down to the parking lot section where you can dump any stray thought you have while you are working so you do not lose focus current flying. Let's type CLI description on Hicksfield into the input box. The idea instantly gets saved into the list with a checkbox next to it that you can tick when you have actually handled it. At the bottom of the screen, you have your live stats, such as the sessions and time focus, all updating in real time as you use the app. So that is apps and websites and artifacts. Abdushi. Now, this last one is for when you don't have a predefined category. It's called Start from Scratch, and you can build anything you want from the ground up, whether it is a landing page, a web component, or something else. It gives you options of what you want to build. So let's click on something new. It asks you questions about the context, scope of work, and design systems. We chose a landing page in teal color for a newsletter karna. Now Claude generates a full content outline, asks you some follow-up questions, and then opens the artifact panel to build it. Once the rendering finishes, you get a live preview of your landing page. On the right side, the headline reads, "Notes from somewhere ahead of the noise." Let us publish this and open it on a fresh browser tab. Here we can see that below the Heroes section, there is an email sign-up box or subscribe button. And when you scroll, you also see a premise that explains what the newsletter is all about. They have even written some copy for us. The advantage isn't access to information. It is having a point of view about it before everyone else does. Below that, we have an in number section with placeholder data. Then a what's inside section that lists out the four parts of the weekly newsletter. Then, oh, who's writing biographical column? And finally, a footer with a clean closing CTA that says, "Read it once, decide for yourself." It's a beautiful newsletter from scratch, which I've tried making before. And it usually takes a lot of time to come up with just so much. So that is start from scratch in artifacts. And I'm honestly very proud of Claude. What we just built across these 9 use cases, the games, the quizzes, the landing pages, the design tools, the productivity apps, and the live dashboards used to be entire day jobs that people used to have. There were developers building the games, there were teachers building the quizzes, there were designers building the landing pages. Now, all of that intelligence just lives in your Claude sidebar. The best part is that they are all customized for you in your preferred colors, styles, and subjects of choice. If I could make this, so can you. Go build your own version of this with your own data in 10 minutes. Because when somebody asks you 6 months from now, what actually changed about the way you work, this is going to be one of the best answers, that you stopped simply using apps and you started building them yourself. Guys, 70% of the people watching this are not subscribed yet. So YouTube will not show you the next AI workflow video we drop. If you want to stay ahead, instead of catching up, hit that subscribe button now. Okay, I have news for you. So recently, GPT has launched a lot of new updates, including changes to Codex, releasing their new AI model 5.5, and much more. So what I asked my entire team to do was literally switch our entire workflows from Claude to Codex and GPT 5.5. If you want to know exactly why, as well as how we went about this process, we made an entire tutorial on this. I'm going to link it for you on the screen right now. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next video.